Dear students, welcome to the course of Analog Communication. Today, we will see the double sideband suppressed carrier modulation. In this modulation, we will see the representation for time and frequency domain, and we will see the generation of double sideband suppressed carrier waveform, and in that we will see what is the phase reversal problem. So that is our aim. So first, let us see what is double sideband suppressed carrier modulation. The signal is produced by multiplying the message signal with a carrier signal. The carrier signal is a sinusoidal signal. On the left hand side, you are seeing the modulator, double sideband suppressed carrier modulator. It is indicated by a multiplier. Two inputs are given, MT and CT. MT is message signal and CT is carrier signal. If CT is cos omega CT, then the output modulator output is MT cos omega CT. And the bottom, MT we are assuming. MT also we are assuming as a sinusoidal signal. MT is AM cos omega MT and the carrier is AC cos omega CT. If you multiply both, you will get, and the bottom line you can see, ST modulated signal equal to MT CT, that is equal to AM cos omega MT multiplied by AC cos omega CT. You are getting AM AC cos omega MT cos omega CT. We have the trigonometric relation that 2 cos A cos B is equal to 1 by 2 cos A cos B is equal to cos of A plus B plus cos of A minus B. Using the relation, you are getting this modulated signal is equal to AM AC by 2 cos of omega C plus omega MT plus cos of omega C minus omega MT. You are getting two frequency terms after modulation. These two frequency terms are made of some frequencies of the input and difference frequencies of the input. The sum frequency is called upper sideband signal and the difference frequency is called lower sideband signal. The operation of the multiplication produces the double sideband suppressed carrier modulation. This operation is called mixing operation or heterodyning operation. Okay, now what we have seen, you can generate double sideband suppressed carrier modulation by multiplying the message signal with a carrier signal. So next, you have to see the Fourier transform of the modulated signal. ST is the modulated signal in time domain, and if you take the Fourier transform, the term AM by AC by 2 into cos omega C plus omega MT, that can be written as AM AC by 2 cos 2 pi FC plus FMT. So that gives two impulses of strength AM AC by 4 at FC plus FM and minus of FC plus FM. That is indicated in the first line of the Fourier transform of SF. And the second frequency component, difference frequency component, gives two impulses of strength AM AC by 4 at frequencies FC minus FM and minus of FC minus FM. And if the Fourier transform, if you are representing in S of omega, then the impulses will be multiplied by 2 pi. On the right hand side you can see, on the right hand side top, impulse strength is equal to amplitude multiplied by a small frequency del f. So this amplitude multiplied by del f equal to 1, and when del f reduces, amplitude will increase, that is the impulse. So the strength of impulse is equal to 1 by the area of the impulse, that is amplitude, and width of the impulse del f. And if you are changing the axis to W, W is nothing but 2 pi f. So in the place of f, it is 2 pi del f. So you have to multiply the area by 2 pi if the frequency axis is del omega. Therefore, S of f, whatever spectrum you are getting, if you want to represent that spectrum in S of omega, the impulses you have to multiply by 2 pi because the impulses are represented by their area. Okay. Next, what you are seeing? We are seeing the message tone, a empty signal, sinusoidal signal, and a high frequency carrier signal, CT, and at the bottom you are seeing the multiplication signal. So the PPT you can divide into two columns. First column is time domain representation and the second column is frequency domain representation. In frequency domain representation, instead of F, W is there. That means in the expression, the impulse strength will be multiplied by 2 pi. So for the message signal, AM cos omega mt, so that is giving two impulses at omega m and minus omega m in frequency domain with the strength pi AM. If it is frequency F, the strength will be AM by 2. Two impulses with the strength AM by 2. Because it is omega, AM by 2 is multiplied by 2 pi and you are getting pi AM. Similarly, for the carrier signal, AC cos omega CT, you are getting two impulses at frequency omega C and minus omega C of strength pi AC. And the multiplied signal is having frequency spectrum which is having 4 impulses, that is 2 impulses for upper sideband and 2 impulses for lower sideband. So in this multiplication process, a phase reversal occurs whenever the message signal is crossing 0 and going negative. Because of the phase reversal, the envelope of this modulated signal does not reflect the message signal. So the message signal is sinusoidal signal. In the bottom row, if you see the product signal, the envelope is not sinusoidal, it is looking like rectified sinusoidal, that is the envelope. Therefore, you cannot use a envelope detector for detecting this double sideband suppressed carrier modulation. So what is this phase reversal? So the phase reversal, whenever the message signal is crossing 0, it becomes negative. And the carrier signal is going very fastly positive and negative. By the time message signal is crossing 0 and becoming negative, the negative of carrier, negative half of the carrier, the negative is multiplied by the negative message signal and it becomes positive. Therefore, the negative half cycle is changed into positive half cycle. So, whenever the message signal is negative, negative half cycle is changed into positive half cycle in the product signal and positive half cycle is changed into negative half cycle in the product signal. This is called phase reversal. That you can see in the diagram. You take the third row, which is given DSP-SC waveform, and exactly in a vertical line, if you see, at 10 seconds, message signal is crossing 0. At that time, the negative half cycle is changing into positive. Because of the multiplication of a small value, it is looking almost like a 0. So you can observe a W shape whenever the message crosses 0 and going negative because of the phase reversal. So the phase reversal occurs whenever there is the message signal crosses 0, either from positive to negative or from negative to positive. In the message signal at 20 seconds, again the message signal is going from negative to positive. At that time, in the product signal, you can see a M shape. Here, the positive cycle looks positive cycle and the negative cycle of the carrier remain negative cycle. But before that, the change was there. Positive cycle of the carrier was negative and negative cycle of the carrier was positive. This changeover takes place whenever the message signal crosses 0 and going positive. And during the positive cycle of the message signal, all the carrier positive half cycle remain positive half cycle. So this is the phase reversal problem which you can see in your laboratory experiments. Okay, you have seen the time domain representation, frequency domain representation, and what is phase reversal problem. And in this PPT slide, what you are seeing, same thing, but with the frequency axis f. Just for your, now you can see AM cos omega t message signal is having a frequency domain representation AM by 2. Carrier is having a impulse strength of AC by 2. And the product signal having impulse strength of AC AM by 4 at frequency Fc plus Fm and minus of Fc plus Fm, etc. And here what you are seeing in this slide, previously you have considered a waveform of single tone. Now in the left hand side, first column, first row, what you are seeing, a signal, message signal. It is not sinusoidal because it is made with 3 sinusoidal frequencies F1, F2, F3. And this message signal is multiplied by the carrier signal and the product signal you are seeing. For each frequency of the message signal, 2 frequencies are generated. So there are 3 frequencies in the message signal. So it will generate 6 frequencies, and you can see the 6 frequencies and the frequency domain to show that it is there. So here what you are seeing, same slide, previously you are seeing a sinusoidal signal. Now you are not seeing the message signal as sinusoidal signal, any general signal. Actually, if you evaluate the Fourier transform, it may be anything. But for our simplicity, we are assuming the message signal is having a triangular spectrum with maximum frequency W. And this message signal is multiplied by the carrier signal. And the spectrum, you can see that the message spectrum, when you are multiplying by the carrier cos omega ct, it is shifted to the right and left. And you are seeing the spectrum. The middle frequency is the carrier frequency location, but after multiplication there is no carrier frequency, only product signal. So in the product signal or the modulated signal, you cannot see the carrier impulse, only the message spectrum you are seeing. So above the Fc frequency location, from Fc to Fc plus W, it is upper sideband, and from Fc to Fc minus W, it is lower sideband. And you should know what is the bandwidth of the modulated signal. The bandwidth of the modulated signal is the difference between highest frequency of the modulated signal to lowest frequency of the modulated signal. That is Fc plus W minus of Fc minus W. It will become 2W. So the bandwidth of the modulated signal is 2W hertz. So what is meant by baseband signal? It is a question. It is nothing but message signal. What is baseband spectrum? The Fourier transform of the baseband signal or message signal is baseband spectrum. What are the frequencies generated? You know, it is the sum frequency and difference frequency. And what is the power in the modulated signal? The power in the modulated signal you can calculate through spectrum also and through time domain also. Here what you are seeing is through spectrum. The modulated signal are having 4 impulses with amplitude AM AC by 4. So if you take square of the signal and add, you will get the power. So that's what the spectrum is given. S of F is equal to AM AC by 4 plus upper sideband impulses, AM AC by 4 by lower sideband impulses 2. All the impulses are having same magnitude, AM AC by 4. So the total power is the impulse strength squared by R. R if you take 1, it will be coming. So AM AC by 4, the whole squared into 4, it become AM squared AC squared by 4R. So that is the power. Now we have to concentrate on the production. We have to concentrate on the generation of SSB DSBSC signal. So here what you are seeing is a balanced modulator. This will generate the DSBSC waveform. What you are seeing is 2 AM modulators, and 1 AM modulator is applied with message signal MT and carrier signal AC cos 2 pi FCT. The other AM modulator is applied with the same carrier signal, but the message signal is phase reversed, that is minus M of T. The 2 AM modulators will generate AM signal. AM signal will be having the carrier signal, and our DSBSC signal, we don't want the carrier signal, so they are subtracted first modulator output and second modulator output S1T minus S2T, that gives the balanced DSBSC signal. So you have to subtract S1T minus S2T. So it is giving 2 KAAC cos 2 pi FCT MT. First modulator is giving AC into 1 plus KA MT cos 2 pi FCT. Second modulator is giving AC into 1 minus KA MT cos 2 pi FCT, because of MT is reversed in phase. When you subtract, carrier is removed and you get twice the product signal 2 KAAC MT. So here it is given as a general AM modulators. But how it is made, how this balanced modulator is made with the devices. So the concept is given. First of all, you have to add both of the signal, and after adding both of the signal, you have to apply a device which will do the multiplication. So, and both the signals are subtracted and you are getting the product signal. This is the concept. Add the two signal and you are applying to a device. This device is a second order nonlinear device. You can generate the DSBSC waveform using a nonlinear device or a switching device. Here it is shown as generated using a nonlinear device. The problem with a nonlinear device is it not only does multiplication, it also gives it at the output the input frequency itself. So when you are subtracting the two product modulators output, your carrier will be suppressed but message will be there. So to take only the product signal, we are using a band pass filter at the output of the adder circuit. So this is the concept. Previously what you have seen is general AM modulator. What device it is not shown. Next, the two signals are applied to the AM modulators. The same thing is expanded here in this. First the signals are added and then applied to a nonlinear device. The device is a diode. Next we will see the actual circuit to produce the double sideband suppressed carrier modulation using a nonlinear device like diode or a diode modulator using nonlinear region. So here you are using the actual circuit. First you are seeing a center tapped transformer. The center tapped transformer primary message signal is applied, and the secondary at the center tap your carrier signal is applied. So the carrier signal is going to the both ends of the secondary, and the primary message signal M of t is applied, and at the secondary one end it will make M of t, another end it will take minus of M of t. So to the diode D1 input, what is the signal? The diode D1 input, the signal is that carrier signal. It is written sin omega ct, but you can change it to cos omega ct for your expression. So it is cos omega ct plus mt at diode D1, that is the input. And for bottom diode, the input is cos omega ct minus mt, because center tapped transformer you will get mt and minus mt. Now what is the diode output? The diode output is given V01 and V02. V01, the output, the nonlinear device will give you output which is proportional to the input and the input square. Therefore, V01 is equal to A into input, A into mt plus cos omega ct, and B into input square, B into mt plus cos omega ct the whole square. That is the first V01 output. Similarly, V02 output will be A into cos omega ct minus mt plus B into cos omega second diode VOT output is, it is proportional to the input. So A into cos omega ct minus mt plus B into cos omega ct minus mt the whole square. Therefore, the output is charging. Output is available at the resistor on the top and the bottom one is available in the bottom. Now, what is the total output? The voltage between the 2 points between the at the cathodes of the diode is V01 minus V02. So, that is the voltage available at the output, V01 minus V02. Therefore, output we are taking, output between the two resistances, we are taking, that is V01T minus V02T, and if you expand the expressions, what you are getting is 2AMT plus 4BMT cos omega CT you are getting. That means message signal plus product signal you are getting. You need only the product signal, you don't need the low frequency message signal. Therefore, after the resistance, LC filter is there. The LC filter is a band pass filter and it will remove the message signal. Therefore, at the output of the filter, you will get some KMT cos omega CT. That is the product signal. So, this way we are generating the message signal, we are generating the product signal or double sideband suppressed carrier modulated signal. First, you have seen the method using two AI modulators. Then second, using how you are going to generate your device, you fixed the device as nonlinear device. Third, actual circuit we have seen. So, you can generate the DSP-SC signal in two methods, using a nonlinear device or using a switching device. Here what you are seeing is you are generating the DSP-SC signal using a switching device, and this particular circuit is called double balanced diode ring modulator or simply ring modulator. Why it is called double balanced ring modulator? In the previous one you have seen at the output you are getting the message signal and the product signal. This circuit will give you only the product signal. It will cancel both the carrier signal and the message signal. So, it is suppressing both message and carrier. So, it is called double balanced or double suppressed modulator. So, what is the circuit involves? It uses two center trapped transformer, one at the input, one at the output. Output of the center tapped transformer is connected to a band pass filter. So, between the two transformer, 4 diodes are connected. So, input transformer, primary, you are applying the message signal. The message signal, you have taken a sample waveform at the bottom. You can see M of T at the bottom, a sample waveform is given. The carrier signal is a bipolar square wave. That means the square wave will go positive and negative alternatively. And where this square wave is applied, the square wave, you can see AC cos omega CT is applied to the center tap of both the transformer. So, AC cos omega CT, it is because it is high pulses, it is assumed as rectangular pulse train, bipolar square wave. So, the carrier signal is a bipolar square wave. Okay. Circuit you have seen, message is applied to the input of the primary and carrier signal is applied to the center tap of the both the transformer. One end goes to the center tap of the input transformer and the other end of the carrier goes to the center tap of the output transformer. First, what is the purpose of the carrier? The purpose of the carrier is to switch on the diode because it is a switching modulator. Switching on the diode is or closing the diodes. So, whenever the rectangular pulse train is positive, D1, D2 diode will be forward biased and they will be closed. So, the carrier signal will enter the secondary transformer and reaches the center tap and come to the common. So, that signal direction is shown here. See, when AC cos omega CT positive, a positive pulse. That pulse starts from positive point, reaches the center tap of the primary, center tap of the input transformer secondary, There it divides into two currents and because the voltage is very quickly going to a high voltage, diode is on. So it forces a current through D1 and D2. The current, one current comes down, another current goes up in the primary of the second transformer. They are going in opposite direction. They are collected together and they are reaching the other end of the carrier source. So here what you are seeing, in the second output transformer, at the primary, the current is flowing in both direction. So they will induce a magnetic flux of opposite direction and they will get collapsed and they are not going to induce any current. So carrier is suppressed here. So this is for positive half cycle. And when the negative half cycle takes place, what happens? So when AC cos omega CT is negative half cycle or it is a negative square pulse, the diode D4 and D3 are switched on because a negative supply is given to them. Cathode, negative supply applied to the cathode of the diode will forward bias them. So they are switched on. Now the current is flowing because it is negative is there. Current will come through the positive side, goes to second transformer, output transformer center point, and from there it divides. It is divides into both upside and downside, and they are collected through the other transformer center tap and comes to this side. So here also you can see one end current is flowing in the upward direction, another the current is flowing in the downward direction. So the magnetic flux induced oppose each other and they collapse. They did not induce any current at the output. So this happens for every positive pulse and negative pulse. So the carrier job is only to close the diode or make the circuit. The diode becomes short circuited. For positive half cycle, D1, D3 are on. For negative half cycle, D3, D4 are on. So in this situation, what is the message signal? So in the message signal, if you see, MT is applied. If MT is positive, it induces MT and minus MT. So from minus MT to plus MT, it is 2MT. So the 2MT signal will go to the secondary of the transformer. This is not flowing continuously. As soon as the carrier changes into negative half cycle, the same positive, same message signal changes the direction to through D3, D4 and passes in the opposite direction in the secondary transformer. So the message signal send current in the secondary transformer in opposite direction for both positive and negative half cycle, and therefore this message current also does not produce any output at the secondary of the second output transformer. So this way the message is also suppressed. By this we see both the carrier is suppressed and message is suppressed. And we can see that twice the message signal is going. So in this double balanced ring modulator, the output what you will get also will be twice. So what is this action? So this action of this diode on the message signal is equal to multiplying the message signal by the rectangular pulse train. So that you can see in the slide in the bottom right hand side, the bottom row right hand side, the action of the carrier on the message signal is nothing but multiplication. So you can see the positive pulse, negative pulse, positive pulse. Now since it is a multiplication, you can call the pulse train as PT and the carrier signal as cos omega CT. So the modulated multiplied signal is PT cos omega CT. And if you take the Fourier transform for this, you can see CT, the Fourier transform is 4 by pi multiplied by cos omega CT minus 1 by 3 cos 3 omega CT plus 1 by 5 cos pi omega CT, etc. And when you multiply by MT, you are getting 4 by pi MT cos omega CT minus 1 by 3 MT cos 3 omega CT, etc. What we want is only MT cos omega CT. But the third harmonic product signal, fifth harmonic product signals are also coming. Therefore, to select only the first harmonic product signal, you use a band pass filter. the band pass filter is nothing but the secondary of the transformer connected with a capacitor across it. So you can see the band pass filter in the circuit. So the capacitor at the secondary of the transformer acts as a LC filter, and that selects your first harmonic product signal. So this way you are able to select, you are able to generate your double sideband suppressed carrier modulation signal by a switching device. It is called ring modulator because the diodes form a ring circuit. If you see the diode, D1 output is connected to D3, again anode, D3 output is connected to D2 anode, and D2 output is connected to D4 anode and comes to the initial point. So the diode form a ring. So it is called a ring modulator. So this way we are able to generate by two methods. The switching diodes is controlled by the square wave carrier applied to the two center tap transformer. Okay. Now what is the, when you compare with the AM, what is the advantage of DSP SC modulation? So first thing is power saving. There is no carrier signal in the transmitted signal. So straight away you are saving 66% of the signal power, and bandwidth is same. The thing is, this is used for point to point communication. So with this we will stop today. So what we have seen? We have seen the time domain representation of double sideband suppressed carrier modulation, frequency domain representation of the DSP-SC modulation, and we have seen a particular problem of phase reversal in the product signal, and because of the phase reversal problem we will not be able to use a envelope detector. So you have to use a synchronous detector. And okay, thank you students.